Chapter 11:23. Divine Spirit. Spirit Thread was an attack-type Divine Spirit skill. Once cultivated successfully, the Divine Spirit power would turn into threads that could cut and penetrate the enemy's Divine Spirit. No wonder it is a mid-class low-level Divine Spirit skill. The cultivation difficulty has increased by several times. Turning the Divine Spirit power into threads might sound simple, but if one delved deeper, they would realize that the Divine Spirit thread wasn't simply turning the Divine Spirit power into threads. If it was only this simple, how could it obtain the recognition of the divine world's laws and become a divine skill? The Divine Spirit thread was to change the nature of the Divine Spirit power, turning it into threads that could cut all things and penetrate metal and rocks. It wasn't just a simple change of shape. It involved the structure of the Divine Spirit. By changing the structure of the Divine Spirit, one would be able to change the nature of the Divine Spirit power. Of course, low-level Divine Spirit skills only involved the superficial structure of the Divine Spirit. The deeper structure of the Divine Spirit wasn't something that low-level Divine Spirit skills could touch upon. Go! In the hidden room, a red thread shot out from Li Fuchen's glabella. It was obviously just a red thread, but it gave off an extremely sharp feeling as though it could easily penetrate anything. I have finally cultivated it. I wonder how is the power? Li Fuchen might have cultivated it, but it was a pity that he couldn't find someone to test it on. After all, these three Divine Spirit skills were only low-level Divine Spirit skills. No one knew how much of Li Fuchen's advantage in Divine Spirit could be utilized. But according to Li Fuchen's guesses, even if he couldn't destroy a superior deity's Divine Spirit, he should be able to severely injure them. In the mission hall, Li Fuchen accepted a 2-star high-tier mission. The mission content was to head to the Lava Grand Canyon and obtain 3 lava hearts, 22-star mid-tier divine herbs, lava herbs, and 5 earth flame gems. If the mission was completed, the reward would be 3 million contribution points and 500 contribution points. High risk means high reward. It is worth the risk. The sect missions were separated into 1-star and 2-star missions. 1-star missions were generally fairly safe missions that even demigods could undertake, such as harvesting missions. 2-star missions were more suitable for mid-level and high-level deities. Advanced 2-star missions were the highest level of missions in the East Sun sect. Any higher than that was a 3-star mission that only true god elders could do. As the location of an advanced 2-star mission, the Lava Canyon was naturally a 2-star danger zone. Moreover, it was an extremely dangerous advanced 2-star danger zone. Ordinary high gods would be in danger of dying at any time. Only some top-notch high gods would have the ability to survive in the Lava Canyon. As for the Lava Heart, it was the heart of a high-level divine beast, the Lava Rock Monster. The Lava Golem was a dual elemental divine beast that was proficient in the elemental path of fire and earth. It was extremely powerful, and its defenses were especially terrifying. Most high gods wouldn't even be able to break through its defenses, let alone kill it. Lava grass, on the other hand, was easy to obtain. It usually grew on the shores of lava lakes. It was all up to luck to obtain the earth flame gem. Such gems were great materials for forging fire Dao divine artifacts, and each of them was extremely valuable. If Li Fuchen didn't cultivate the divine soul skill, he would never accept an outside mission. He had a faint premonition that the 2 individuals that ambushed him at the Raging Sun Fortress should be members of the East Sun sect. If he didn't guess it wrongly, they probably knew his every move like the back of their hand. I hope I am overthinking. Li Fuchen was rather apprehensive of high-grade divine artifacts. His strength might have increased by leaps and bounds and he had the divine soul skill, but who knew what accidents might happen. On the second day after accepting the mission, Li Fuchen set off. This time, he was constantly using his divine soul power to sense behind him. As expected, he could sense 2 figures far behind him. They were the 2 individuals that ambushed him at the Raging Sun Fortress. The 2 of them weren't fast and couldn't catch up to Li Fuchen. Their high-grade divine artifacts were all offensive divine artifacts and weren't able to increase their speed. Let's talk at the lava canyon. Li Fuchen was preparing to deal with the two individuals at the lava canyon. He didn't wish to be watched every day, even though there must be someone giving them instructions. The lava canyon was extremely far from the East Sun sect. With Li Fuchen's speed, he would need to spend over a month to arrive. It would be great if I have a flying divine artifact, even if it is just a low-grade flying divine artifact. The speed of a low-grade flying divine artifact was naturally far inferior to Li Fuchen's speed. However, the use of a flying divine artifact was that it didn't feel tired. As long as there were enough divine stones, it would be able to fly continuously. If Li Fuchen had a low-grade flying divine artifact, he would be able to stay on the flying divine artifact to cultivate and travel without any delay. But in the East Sun sect, flying divine artifacts were extremely expensive. A normal low-grade flying divine artifact would cost at least 100,000 contribution points and required 3-star contribution points. Li Fuchen had enough contribution points, but the speed of a normal low-grade flying divine artifact was too slow and would affect the speed of travel. In Li Fuchen's opinion, he would need at least a perfect-grade flying divine artifact to barely satisfy his speed requirements. But a perfect-grade flying divine artifact would cost a few 100,000 and an extreme-grade flying divine artifact would cost at least 1,000,000. Li Fuchen's contribution points were a little lacking. After all, he still had to accumulate contribution points to do other things. In short, there were too many places that required contribution points. Good steel had to be used on the edge of the blade and shouldn't be used blindly. Over a month later, Li Fuchen arrived at the lava canyon. At a glance, the world was bright red. There were scorching cracks that intersected on the ground and were bottomless. Li Fuchen randomly picked a lava crevice and dove in. It's so hot. The lava canyon was much hotter than Li Fuchen imagined, and it was getting hotter the deeper he went. Li Fuchen reckoned that if a low deity came here, they wouldn't be able to last for 2 hours. Middle deities wouldn't be able to last for a few days either. This place was truly too hot and his divine power was constantly being consumed. PFFF. When Li Fuchen's feet landed on the ground, there were traces of sparks. Let's settle the problem first. Li Fuchen circulated his divine soul and concealed his chi presence flawlessly. He then hid behind a stone pillar that was slightly further away. After a long time, 2 figures landed. Damn it, it's so hot. The duo's divine power index and divine power fusion weren't comparable to Li Fuchen, therefore, their heat resistance was far inferior to Li Fuchen. This environment made them frustrated and irritated. Especially when they realized that they had lost Li Fuchen and that even their tracking divine artifacts couldn't sense Li Fuchen's chi presence, their mood was even worse. The lava canyon is rather special. There should be some power that isolated his chi presence. Let's look around. The duo activated their tracking divine artifacts to sense Li Fuchen's chi presence while releasing their divine power to scout the surroundings. There were times when divine power scouting was more effective than tracking divine artifacts. Success or failure will be decided here. Soul Snatch. Behind the stone pillar, Li Fuchen's eyes narrowed. An illusory eye appeared in the void and stared at the duo below. Not good. The duo felt something was wrong in their hearts. Immediately after, their divine souls were intimidated and their bodies were immobilized. Divine Soul Spirit Thread. 2 sharp threads shot out from Li Fuchen's glabella and tunneled into the duo's soul sea. Without a sound, the 2 of them fell to the ground. Their divine souls in their soul sea were sliced into countless pieces by the divine soul thread without any defense. They died just like that. Li Fuchen's divine soul was extremely sensitive and he was certain that the duo's divine soul was destroyed and they were dead. Divine soul attacks are too terrifying. Li Fuchen's eyes were filled with shock. He realized that he had still underestimated the use of the divine soul. Without high-grade divine artifacts, these two individuals wouldn't be a match for Li Fuchen. But with the high-grade divine artifacts, Li Fuchen was confident he could contest against them in a one-on-one. Li Fuchen didn't have any confidence at all in a one-on-two fight. The only thing he could do was to risk his life and fight. Right now, these two experts who weren't weaker than him had died so easily under the divine soul attack. The contrast was too drastic. Right now, Li Fuchen was only cultivating normal class and mid-class low-level divine soul skills. What if he cultivated excellent class, flawless class, or even extreme class low-level divine soul skills? Even if these two individuals had 10 lives, it wouldn't be enough. Above the low-level divine soul skills, there were mid-level divine soul skills, high-level divine soul skills, low-level divine soul true God skills, mid-level divine soul true God skills. It wasn't exaggerating to say that a person with a powerful divine soul who cultivated a divine soul skill would be invincible in the same realm. In fact, it wasn't impossible to surpass one's realm in combat. If Li Fuchen cultivated a mid-level divine soul skill or a high-level divine soul skill, he might be able to contest with a low-level true God, unless the low-level true God also cultivated a divine soul skill. These two masks are rather peculiar. Li Fuchen walked over and lifted up the duo's masks. Under the mask were two unfamiliar faces. As for the mask, it was a perfect class mid-level divine artifact. If it was sold, its value would only be higher than regular perfect class mid-level divine artifacts. It would be worth at least a few million contribution points. Two of them would be worth close to 10 million contribution points. Apart from the mask, the duo also had a few other perfect class mid-level divine artifacts and two extreme class mid-level divine artifacts. They were worth around 40 million contribution points in total. Apart from that, the duo's spatial rings each had a high-level divine artifact and a few tens of millions of low-grade god stones. I have made a huge profit. Li Fuchen's face was filled with smiles. A normal class high-level divine artifact was worth around 200 million contribution points. A mid-level high-level divine artifact was worth around 1 billion contribution points. This time, Li Fuchen obtained a total of 1.25 billion contribution points and a few tens of millions of low-grade god stones. If they were all converted to low-grade god stones, it would be over 10 billion low-grade god stones. Li Fuchen reckoned that these two high-level divine artifacts didn't belong to the duo. They were probably temporarily given to them by the people behind them. But so what? Since they were in Li Fuchen's hands, it was impossible for him to return them. I wonder if there are any divine soul imprints on them. Li Fuchen had always been rather careful when his divine soul power entered the high-level divine artifacts. He actually found the divine soul imprints in the depths of the two high-level divine artifacts. With Li Fuchen's peak-level high true God spirit, he was naturally able to destroy the divine soul imprints inside. As such, the future owner of the high-level divine artifacts wouldn't be able to use the divine soul imprints to sense the existence of the high-level divine artifacts. This is a tracking divine artifact. Li Fuchen noticed a ring on one of the individual's hand. This ring was very ordinary and Li Fuchen nearly overlooked it. After his divine soul power entered the ring, Li Fuchen could sense his chi presence. It seems like they are using a tracking divine artifact to track me. This tracking divine artifact was a perfect class mid-level divine artifact. The range of tracking was around 10,000 miles and beyond 10,000 miles, the tracking would be lost. It is considered a good item. After keeping everything, Li Fuchen tossed the two corpses into the lava lake. His figure flashed and vanished. Chapter 1124. I have already collected 6 stalks of lava grass. Li Fuchen's luck was rather good as he would be able to find 1 or 2 stalks of lava grass every day. The lava grass was scarlet gold in color and hollow inside. There was an orange-yellow liquid flowing inside and the temperature was astounding. There are sounds of fighting ahead. Li Fuchen could vaguely sense an energy wave coming from ahead. After executing the wings of time, Li Fuchen approached silently. I already said that the earth flame gem is mine. You are courting death. A single-horned red-haired high deity wielded a scarlet battle saber and sent several high deities flying with a single saber. Flame Star, you are too greedy. We discovered the earth flame gem together. What right do you have to take it for yourself? Just because I am stronger than all of you. Die. The Flame Star was extremely powerful. He executed consecutive saber moves and the air was filled with blazing saber chi. Some of the blazing saber chi took the form of ferocious tigers, cheetahs, and birds. They had all sorts of shapes and had horrific attack power. After executing his high-class divine skill, the Flame Star was about to excavate the Earth Flame Gem. Where is the Earth Flame Gem? The Flame Star was astonished as the Earth Flame Gem that was here earlier had vanished. There was only a gem pit left. Who stole my Earth Flame Gem? The Flame Star roared with rage and his eyes had turned red. The Earth Flame Gem was a Fire Dao artifact. It wasn't just an excellent material for forging high-class Fire Dao divine artifacts, it could also be used to cultivate Fire Dao divine power. A single Earth Flame Gem could save him a few dozen years of bitter cultivation. The Earth Flame Gem earlier might have a normal quality, but it was big enough. If it was used for cultivation, it might save him 100 years or even a few hundred years of bitter cultivation. The one who took the Earth Flame Gem was naturally Li Fuchen. With his current proficiency in the spatial Dao, it was too easy for him to take the Earth Flame Gem silently. Furthermore, the Earth Flame Gem was mostly focused on his opponents. This Earth Flame Gem is equivalent to 4 or 5 regular Earth Flame Gems. The Earth Flame Gem in Li Fuchen's hand was the size of a bowl. Regular Earth Flame Gems were only the size of a fist. As time elapsed, Li Fuchen had already been in the lava Grand Canyon for 10 days. Perhaps it was due to his great luck, Li Fuchen was only left with 3 lava hearts and 1 Earth Flame Gem. The lava stone monsters are innately immune to soul attacks. It won't be easy to deal with them. In the divine world and even the divine void, there were all sorts of strange life forms. Some life forms didn't have a divine soul, thus they didn't fear divine soul attacks. Some life forms were immortal and couldn't be killed. Some life forms were born with the ability to shuttle through the void. The lava golems were a type of life form from the divine world that did not possess a divine soul. In order to deal with them, a large number of high gods would be required. We're here. The Grand Lava Canyon had 7 of the largest lava lakes. The lava rock monsters usually only moved around these 7 lakes. Of course, most of the time, they slept in the lava lakes. Arriving at the vicinity of a golden lava lake, Li Fuchen looked into the distance. There's one here. From far away, Li Fuchen saw a giant lava life form walking out of the lava lake. This lava life form was 50 meters tall, and its body was completely made of lava. Lava was still dripping from the cracks on its body like boiling blood. Its eyes were 2 huge fireballs that burned fiercely. Such a powerful divine power wave. Li Fuchen reckoned that this lava stone monster's divine power index was probably over 250,000. The blazing divine power wave was causing the surrounding void to distort. The lava stone monster's only weakness is the heart, which is also the heart of lava. As long as I shatter the heart of lava, I will be able to kill the lava stone monster. But the heart of lava is my mission item and must not be shattered. The only way is to dig out the heart of lava and prevent it from recovering. Li Fuchen was afraid of destroying the heart of lava, therefore, he didn't execute the seamless sword chi. He blasted the sword chi return to the lava stone monster. Crackle. A sword wound appeared on the chest of the lava stone monster. The sword wound might be deep, but it didn't reach deep into the lava stone monster. Roar. The lava stone monster roared and charged at Li Fuchen. In the next moment, a rain of meteor fire rain was blasted at Li Fuchen. Meteor fire rain was the lava stone monster's innate divine skill. The innate divine skill was similar to the bloodline divine skill as it wasn't created by the user. The difference was that the innate divine skill originated from the user and not from the ancestor, while the bloodline divine skill originated from the ancestor. Of course, not every life form would possess the innate divine skill. Normally, only those rare or special life forms would possess the innate divine skill. The lava stone monster was one of those special life forms from the divine world. Li Fuchen had the intention to test the lava stone monster's attack power and forcefully endured the meteor fire rain. I can still endure it. The meteor fire rain was a dual attribute divine skill of fire and earth. It contained the burst and tyrannical fire of the fire and the weight of the earth. It had an extremely powerful attack power. If Li Fuchen was replaced by any other peak-level high deity, he would have been smashed into meat paste. Seeing that the meteor fire rain couldn't do anything to Li Fuchen, the lava stone monster's eyes spewed out flames that were several feet long and blasted a fist at Li Fuchen. When the fist was blasted out, the lava stone monster's fist and arm turned into a lava fire dragon. It had a terrifying presence. Innate divine skill, lava dragon blast. Bang! Li Fuchen was sent flying. The power of this move was several times stronger than the meteor fire rain and it was an extreme offensive divine skill. Isn't this too powerful? Li Fuchen was rather speechless. His sword Dao divine power index was at 200,000 and his divine power fusion was at 50%. Both were at the limits of a high deity. How could Li Fuchen know that there were strong and weak lava stone monsters? The lava stone monster that Li Fuchen encountered was considered stronger. The weaker lava stone monsters would normally be below 50 meters in height. I cannot let this continue. The lava stone monster's fist had exhausted a significant amount of Li Fuchen's sword Dao divine power and destruction divine power. Without any hesitation, Li Fuchen executed the extreme class high-state divine skill, Seamless Sword Qi. The Seamless Sword Qi entered seamlessly. The lava stone monster's chest appeared with an invisible crack and the sword Qi instantly seeped in. Crackle. The lava stone monster's fireball-like eyes were burning with flames before the flames were extinguished. Its body was blasted into smithereens and it couldn't be more dead. As for the heart of lava, it was naturally gone. Letting out a bitter laugh, Li Fuchen shook his head and was rather speechless. His sword move was unexpectedly powerful. It immediately shattered the lava stone monster's heart, which was also the heart of lava, causing the lava stone monster's death. This wasn't something that Li Fuchen wished to see. The golden lava lake was massive and had a radius of a few tens of thousands of miles. After a few days, Li Fuchen finally found the second lava stone monster. This lava stone monster was 40 meters in height and the divine power wave was much weaker than the previous one. But it was still stronger than Li Fuchen and its divine power index was around 220,000 to 30,000. With the previous experience, Li Fuchen tried his best to restrain the seamless sword Qi and made it enter the lava stone monster's chest. He tried his best to not explode and aimed to bring out the heart of lava. However, the seamless sword Qi's characteristics were too special. Entering seamless was its core concept and it wasn't that easy to control. If it was that easy to control, it wouldn't be the seamless sword Qi. Therefore, even if Li Fuchen didn't strike the heart of lava directly and merely touched the heart of lava still appeared with cracks before it exploded. This won't do. The seamless sword Qi isn't gentle enough. Once I make a move, there will be casualties. Li Fuchen frowned. That's right, I almost forgot about the high-grade divine artifact. Li Fuchen took out the mid-class high-grade divine artifact, the silver hammer. After refining the silver hammer, Li Fuchen found out that the silver hammer was called the Sky Quake Hammer. It contained the Sky Quake divine power and had a high-grade divine skill, Sky Quake Hammer Shadow. After the wielder channeled his divine power into the hammer, the Skyquake hammer would transform the divine power into Skyquake divine power in an instant. This was also the reason why a high-grade divine weapon was so powerful. After all, it wasn't as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Of course, if the wielder was more confident in his divine power and divine technique, he could choose not to use the converter tattoo or the high god technique that came with the high god artifact. High god artifacts, aside from the converter tattoo, also had other tattoo, such as the most important amplification tattoo. With the tool pattern and the divine skill, it was a great thing for Li Fuchen. Otherwise, if a high-grade divine artifact wasn't suitable for him, it wouldn't be able to make much use. Without the Hammer Dao divine skill, a high-grade divine artifact was mediocre. Wielding the Sky Quake hammer, Li Fuchen poured in Sword Dao divine power. In the next moment, the surging Sword Dao divine power was converted by the tool pattern and turned into the Heaven Quake divine power. After the enhancement, the Heaven Quake divine power's power was far superior to Li Fuchen's own Sword Dao divine power. As it circulated, it activated the Heaven Quake hammer's only high-class divine skill, Heaven Quake Hammer Shadow. Go! A hammer shadow instantly blasted on the body of the lava rock monster. The lava rock monster's body trembled and exploded, revealing the lava core within. Good chance. Li Fuchen executed the Wings of Time and grabbed the lava heart. He then used the Sword Dao divine power to envelop the lava heart and prevent it from recovering. Bang 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 bang, the lava heart was like a heart of lava that constantly expanded and contracted. After a long time, it returned to calmness. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. Li Fuchen didn't expect the Sky Quake hammer to be so useful. It was simply the best weapon to deal with the lava rock monster. But it was understandable. A mid-class high-grade divine artifact was worth around 1 billion contribution points. If it couldn't even deal with the lava rock monster, it would be a joke. Mid-class high-grade divine artifacts are already so incredible. I wonder what would the excellent class or perfect class high-grade divine artifacts be like. The Sky Quake Hammer's high-grade divine skill, Sky Quake Hammer Shadow, was actually just a mid-class high-grade divine skill and wasn't considered incredible. The Sky Quake Hammer's own Sky Quake divine power was only average and was around the same as most of the high-grade gods. The terrifying thing about high-grade divine artifacts was that they could convert the wielder's divine power into the divine power of the divine artifact. As such, the divine artifact's divine power would be greatly enhanced. As for how much it would be enhanced, it would depend on the wielder's divine power. Li Fuchen's Sword Dao divine power was at the limits of a high-grade god. After converting it into the Sky Quake divine power, it had definitely broken through the limits of a high-grade god. His divine power index had increased by at least a few times. With such powerful divine power, when used with any high-grade divine skill, it would be extremely terrifying. Chapter 1125. Immediately after, Li Fuchen used the same method to obtain another lava heart. Just one more. Li Fuchen was spirited. The target is here. Make your move. In a crevice that could isolate divine power, dozens of figures rushed out and surrounded Li Fuchen in a fan shape. The leader of the trio, a silver-haired man, didn't say a word and executed a divine skill at the void. The void was immediately impregnable. The green-haired woman on the right had her eyes turn green and white like an evil spirit. Lumps of divine spirit power formed green ghost flames that were blasted at Li Fuchen's soul sea. The blood-haired man in the middle had a burst of divine power and his divine power index had instantly exceeded 200,000. He had locked onto Li Fuchen's chi presence. Hunting group, it should be the famous Blood Lion gang, right? Li Fuchen didn't panic and didn't even do anything. Since he was here at the Lava Grand Canyon for a mission, he had naturally researched it. The Lava Grand Canyon was a 2-star high-tier dangerous place and it might be filled with dangers, but there were also plenty of opportunities. It attracted a large number of higher deities to adventure here. There were also some dark organizations that mainly focused on hunting and killing. The Blood Lion Gang was a hunting organization that was formed by higher deities. Exploring was only their secondary mission. Their main mission was to hunt down higher deities and seize their wealth. They had been in the Lava Grand Canyon for dozens of years and had killed at least 100 higher deities. Among them, there were plenty of peak-tier higher deities, core disciples from 2 true god factions, and other true god factions in the Bright World Divine World. In the face of absolute numbers, the so-called peak-tier higher deities and true god factions core disciples were nothing. A single round of attacks was enough to kill them. Of course, they dared to be so fearless because they had something to rely on. Firstly, the Lava Grand Canyon was massive and had a complicated terrain. There were plenty of naturally formed force fields that could isolate divine power. Therefore, even if a true god came in, it wouldn't be easy to find a target. Secondly, the Blood Lion squad had a total of 3 captains. The head captain, Blood Lion, was a peak stage high god. His power wasn't weak, and he had relied on his own comprehension abilities to create an excellent level high god technique, the Blood Lion Heaven Devouring Fist. Of course, if that was all, he wouldn't have been able to become the head captain of the Blood Lion squad and intimidate the entire Blood Lion squad. What was truly frightening about Blood Lion was that he had somehow obtained an ordinary high god grade divine weapon, the Blood Lion armor. With the Blood Lion armor, Blood Lion's defense had reached a terrifying level. Ordinary high gods couldn't break through his defense at all. Furthermore, under the enhancement of the Blood Lion armor, Blood Lion's divine energy had skyrocketed. His divine energy index had even surpassed the limits of high gods. The second leader of the Blood Lion Corps was called Silver Lion. He was also a pinnacle high god. Although he did not have a high god weapon, he cultivated in the Tao of space. Moreover, he had created an excellent level superior spatial divine skill, Void Lockdown. It could seal the surrounding void, making it impossible for the enemy to escape. Most of the time, the Blood Lion Corps relied on Silver Lion's skills to kill their opponents. After all, their opponents weren't fools. They would flee at the first sign of trouble. If they didn't have the means to trap their opponents, the Blood Lion Corps would have a much lower chance of success. The Evergreen Lion was the weakest among the 3 corps. He was only an ordinary high god. But the most important person in the Blood Lion Corps was undoubtedly the Azure Lion. That was because the Azure Lion was a cultivator of the Tao of Soul. Her divine soul was innately powerful. Although she was only an ordinary high god, her divine soul had long surpassed the limits of a high god and reached the level of a half-step true god. On top of that, she had obtained several powerful low god soul divine skills by chance. She was practically invincible in battle. Just think about it, if you were in a serious battle and your opponent used a divine soul divine skill, even if you weren't injured, you would be distracted for a moment. It was easy to imagine what it meant to be distracted in a battle between high gods when both parties were roughly equal in strength. In short, when the Blood Lion Corps hunted down the high gods, there was only one pattern. The Silver Lion would first trap the target, while the Azure Lion would execute the divine soul divine skill to injure or intimidate the target's divine soul. Everyone else, including the Blood Lion, would then focus their attacks. Let alone a peak-tier high god, even a pinnacle high god would usually be defeated by a single round of attacks from the Blood Lion Corps. Unless the target was like the Blood Lion and was also wearing a high-grade divine armor, or had created an extreme-class divine body divine skill. But such individuals were too rare and the Blood Lion Corps had never encountered such individuals. Attack. With the Blood Lion as the leader, dozens of divine skills emitted resplendent radiance and drowned Li Fuchen. No wonder the Blood Lion Corps is so famous. Regular peak-tier high gods or pinnacle high gods wouldn't even be able to withstand a single round of attacks from you. It was unknown when Li Fuchen vanished, and when he reappeared, he was at the right side of the Blood Lion Corps. What? Impossible? One of the silver-haired silver lion's face was filled with confusion. He had obviously sealed the spatial zone. How did Li Fuchen escape? Furthermore, he didn't sense anything. Could it be that Li Fuchen was also proficient in the spatial Tao and had created a perfect class high-grade spatial divine skill? No, even if it was a perfect class high-grade spatial divine skill, Li Fuchen would only be able to escape. It was impossible for him to not sense anything. It is a space-time divine skill. The silver lion understood now. Li Fuchen must be walking on the space-time Tao. The space-time Tao was superior to the time Tao and spatial Tao. Unless the silver lion's spatial Tao proficiency was superior to Li Fuchen's space-time Tao proficiency, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to pose any threat to Li Fuchen. This is going to be troublesome. The silver lion frowned. Any cultivator of the space-time Tao was extremely difficult to deal with. If the difference in strength wasn't ridiculously large, it was simply impossible to kill them. In fact, let alone a cultivator of the space-time Tao, even a cultivator of the time Tao or the spatial Tao would be extremely difficult to deal with. The green-haired green lion was also confused. Her ghost eye soul fire had clearly hit Li Fuchen, but why didn't Li Fuchen suffer any damage? Her divine soul was at the half-step true God level. When she executed the excellent class low-level divine soul skill, the ghost eye soul fire, she could easily extinguish the divine soul of any mid-level deity. She could also injure or affect the divine soul of a high-level deity. After all, the divine soul wasn't the divine body. The divine soul was too weak and was nearly defenseless. If one didn't cultivate the divine soul skill, the divine soul would be everyone's weakness. Even if one cultivated the divine soul skill, one wouldn't be able to maintain the state of execution at all times. There would always be a moment of carelessness. There was only one exception, and that was to refine a divine soul defense divine artifact. A divine soul defense divine artifact was able to protect the wielder's divine soul at all times. It was a pity that divine soul divine artifacts were countless times more precious than regular divine artifacts. Even true gods might not possess divine soul divine artifacts, let alone high-level deities. Divine soul skill. It seems like you are a soul Tao high-level deity. Li Fuchen looked at the green lion. He could see that the green lion's divine soul skill was of a higher grade than his divine soul spirit thread. It should be an excellent class low-level divine soul skill. Soul suppression mirror. The green lion had a sinister expression as he executed another excellent class low-level divine soul skill, the soul suppression mirror. In the air, a mirror that was constructed with the divine soul power appeared and reflected Li Fuchen inside. The soul suppression mirror could suppress the enemy's divine soul and render them immobile. It is useless. Li Fuchen shook his head. With a bang, the soul suppression mirror exploded. PFFF. The green lion vomited fresh blood and his divine soul suffered severe injuries. The contest of divine soul power was extremely dangerous. The loser would easily suffer the backlash of the divine soul power. The green lion's divine soul was too different from Li Fuchen's divine soul. The former was only at the half-step true God level, while the latter was at the pinnacle of high-level deities. The red divine soul had turned pale yellow and was evolving towards the low-level spirit God level. Blood Lion Sky Devouring Fist. At this moment, the Blood Lion's attack arrived. The Blood Lion frenziedly circulated the blood-colored armor on his body. A blood-colored divine power rushed into the sky and turned into a giant blood-colored lion head that bit at Li Fuchen. The Blood Lion didn't believe that Li Fuchen's frontal combat strength was formidable. There was a limit to a single person's energy and it was impossible to be all-round. Seamless Sword Chi. When facing the Blood Lion's attack, Li Fuchen drew the Thousand Sun Sword and countered with the Seamless Sword Chi. PFFF. The blood-colored lion head was penetrated, or it should be said that the sword chi penetrated the blood-colored lion head as though it was a phantom. In the next moment, the sword Qi hit the blood lion. The high-grade divine artifact armor was indeed incredible. Li Fuchen's seamless sword Qi was seamless and had advanced to the pinnacle high-level divine skill. Mid-grade divine artifacts wouldn't be able to block it, and only high-grade divine artifacts could. Therefore, the seamless sword Qi didn't injure the blood lion. Of course, the blood lion's sky-devouring fist wasn't able to injure Li Fuchen either. It didn't even touch the corner of Li Fuchen's clothes. Everyone attacked together. The blood lion knew that he had encountered a tough opponent and roared with rage. Soul-snatching. It was a pity that Li Fuchen wasn't going to give them any more chances. He executed the normal low-class divine spirit ability, Soul Seize. An illusory pupil appeared in the air and the horrific divine spirit prowess spread out. In the next moment, apart from the blood lion, silver lion, and azure lion, the rest of the blood lion group were bleeding from their 7 orifices and had their divine spirit crumbling. The blood lion and silver lion's divine spirit might not have crumbled, but there were signs of crumbling too. Once the divine spirit crumbled, it was extremely dangerous. If the time dragged on, the divine spirit might just crumble and die. Only the indigo lion was unharmed. Run! Seeing that the blood lion and the silver lion couldn't move, the azure lion was shocked. No wonder the other party was not afraid of her ghost ice soul fire. It turned out that the other party was an even more powerful soul cultivator. Compared to the other party, it was like the difference between an ant and an elephant. There was no comparison at all. The indigo lion retreated, trying to escape. Do you think you can run? From Li Fuchen's glabella, a thread of divine spirit shot towards the green lion. The indigo lion trembled and fell to the ground, its divine soul dissipating. Subsequently, Li Fuchen killed the blood lion and silver lion with ease. At this point, the notorious blood lion regiment was completely wiped out. Chapter 1126. Incredible. The blood lion group was too wealthy. Just the low-grade god stones alone were a few billion. Among them, the blood lion group had the most and had over 1 billion low-grade god stones in his spatial ring. The silver lion and green lion had around 1 billion low-grade god stones, while the rest had around 10 to 20 million low-grade god stones. A few billion low-grade god stones was a rather shocking number. A mid-class high-tier divine artifact would only be worth around 1 billion contribution points. If converted to low-grade god stones, it would only be around 10 billion low-grade god stones. In fact, apart from true gods, there weren't many higher gods that had a few billion low-grade god stones. After all, in the East Sun sect, contribution points couldn't be exchanged for an unlimited number of low-grade god stones. 3-star contribution points could only be exchanged for 100 million low-grade god stones. 4-star contribution points could be exchanged for 1 billion low-grade god stones, and 4-star contribution points would require 10,000 contribution points. How many sect missions would it require? With a few billion low-grade god stones, Li Fuchen had achieved financial freedom. At least for a long period of time, he wouldn't need to worry about not having enough divine stones. After all, in the bright world divine world, there weren't many places that could use a large number of divine stones. Apart from true god factions, there weren't any high-tier divine artifacts in the outside world. Therefore, even if one had enough divine stones, they wouldn't be able to use them. Normal class high-tier defensive divine artifact, blood lion armor. Good stuff. Holding a blood-colored armor in his hand, Li Fuchen is very satisfied. His defensive divine artifact was only a mid-class mid-tier divine artifact, and the defensive effects were too inferior. With the blood lion armor, his defensive power was more than 10 times or 100 times stronger. Back at the Raging Sun Fortress, if he had the blood lion armor, he wouldn't have to flee when he encountered an ambush. Apart from the high-tier divine artifact, the blood lion armor, Li Fuchen obtained a total of over 200 mid-tier divine artifacts. Among them, there was 1 ultimate class mid-tier divine artifact, 8 perfect class mid-tier divine artifacts, 58 excellent class mid-tier divine artifacts, and close to 200 mid-tier and normal class mid-tier divine artifacts. With the addition of divine elixirs, divine herbs, divine metals, and other miscellaneous items, Li Fuchen's harvest was truly astounding. Soul Refinement Herb. While organizing the spoils, Li Fuchen found over 100 stalks of silver-black herbs in the Green Lion spatial ring. This divine herb was called Soul Refining Grass, and it was a 3-star high-tier divine herb. It was many times more precious than the Crimson Soul Grass in the Crimson Soul Mountain Range. The Crimson Soul Grass was only a 3-star low-tier divine herb. Li Fuchen didn't know that these soul refinement herbs were purchased by the Green Lion after much difficulty. It was unknown how many low-grade god stones she had spent. Originally, she was planning to hire someone to refine the 3-star high-tier divine elixir, soul refinement elixir, so that her divine soul could break through to the low-level true god level. Who knew that it would benefit Li Fuchen? I wonder how effective it will be. Li Fuchen consumed a stalk of soul refinement herb. The soul refinement herb melted upon entering Li Fuchen's mouth and turned into a cool chi presence that rushed into Li Fuchen's spirit sea. As expected of a 3-star advanced divine herb. Its medicinal efficacy is almost 10 times that of the Crimson Soul Grass. It's still somewhat useful to me. If it was the red soul herb, it would be useless to Li Fuchen as its grade was too low. To be honest, the soul refining herb's grade was rather low too. It was fortunate that the golden amulet's purification was perfect and it was able to extract the true essence of the soul refining herb. After consuming over 100 stalks of soul refining herbs, Li Fuchen's divine soul had an additional pale yellow color. After tidying up the spoils of war, Li Fuchen swept all the corpses of the Blood Lion group into the lava lake, leaving no traces behind. Perhaps Li Fuchen had used up all his luck. For the next few days, he didn't encounter a 3rd lava stone monster. Li Fuchen flew leisurely at the shore of the lava lake and released his divine soul power to scan the depths of the lava lake. Found it. Hard work paid off. Li Fuchen discovered a lava stone monster that was in deep slumber at the bottom of the lava lake. However, this lava stone monster was rather massive and was around 60 meters in height. When it was in deep slumber, it would naturally emit divine power waves that were rather shocking. Now that Li Fuchen had discovered it, he naturally wouldn't miss it. He executed the seamless sword chi at the bottom of the lava lake. After being weakened by the lava, when the seamless sword chi made contact with the lava stone monster, it was already much weaker and only left behind a trace. Roar! The lava stone monster woke up and let out an enraged roar. Meteor fire rain. Lava dragon blast. It was the same innate divine skill, but when executed by this lava stone monster, the power was several times stronger than the previous 2 lava stone monsters. If Li Fuchen wasn't careful, he would be sent flying while vomiting blood. Right now, Li Fuchen was wearing the normal class high-tier divine artifact, Blood Lion armor. His defense wasn't comparable to before. It was imaginable how ferocious the attack power of this 60-meter-tall lava stone monster was. Sky Quake Hammer Shadow. Wielding the Sky Quake Hammer, Li Fuchen executed a hammer shadow on the lava stone monster. Bang! The lava stone monster's body shook and lava burst off its body. However, that was all. This lava stone monster was actually able to resist the attack of the mid-class high-tier divine artifact, Sky Quake Hammer. Seamless Sword Chi. Seeing that the Sky Quake Hammer was ineffective, Li Fuchen withdrew it and started to use the Thousand Sun Sword and Seamless Sword Chi to deal with the lava stone monster. Seamless Sword Chi penetrated through gaps. The lava stone monster's indestructible defense was instantly weakened when facing the Seamless Sword Chi, and cracks appeared on its body. As the cracks increased, the lava stone monster's divine power started to weaken. It is about time. Seeing that the lava stone monster's divine power had weakened to the same level as the 50-meter lava stone monster, Li Fuchen took out the sky quake hammer again and blasted. Bang! The lava stone monster's body exploded. With a flash, Li Fuchen grabbed onto the heart of lava. Finally, Li Fuchen revealed a smile. It wasn't easy to deal with this lava stone monster. The sky quake hammer, seamless sword chi, and blood lion armor were all indispensable. Without the sky quake hammer, Li Fuchen wouldn't be able to obtain the lava stone monster. Without the blood lion armor, he wouldn't be able to destroy the lava stone monster's body. Without the blood lion armor, Li Fuchen wouldn't be able to deal with the lava stone monster's attacks. It is time to leave. This lava heart's quality was higher than the previous 2 lava hearts, but it didn't matter. As compared to 3 million contribution points, the lava heart wasn't considered much. Li Fuchen wasn't a fire Dao or earth Dao superior deity and the lava heart was useless to him. If he sold it, it might be worth a lot of low-grade god stones, but he had a few billion low-grade god stones now. A few 100,000 or a few million low-grade god stones weren't worth much to him. Right now, time was the most important thing for him. After keeping the lava heart, Li Fuchen was planning to leave. All of a sudden, the lava lake's water exploded and a giant lava palm burst out of the water and slammed at Li Fuchen. Danger! Every inch of Li Fuchen's flesh was trembling. He subconsciously executed the wings of time and flashed away in a frenzy. PFFF. A few dozen miles away from the lava lake, Li Fuchen's figure appeared. As soon as he appeared, his body had cracks and half of his body had exploded. Apart from the blood lion armor, the rest of the mid-tier divine artifacts had all been turned into dust. Earlier on, the lava palm didn't hit Li Fuchen, but just a graze from the palm force was enough to nearly kill him. His sword Dao divine power and destruction divine power had been reduced by more than half. If he was attacked again, he would definitely die. Li Fuchen took out a large bunch of divine essence elixirs and stuffed them into his mouth like beans. Divine essence elixir was a 2-star low-tier divine elixir. It could rapidly replenish the divine power of middle and high deities. A single elixir was worth 100 low-grade god stones. Be it in the outside world or in the East Sun sect, the divine essence elixir was considered a must-have divine elixir. While stuffing the divine essence elixir, Li Fuchen didn't stop and continued to flee with the wings of time. However, his divine spirit power had already extended towards the lava lake. With the divine spirit power's senses, Li Fuchen saw the existence that attacked him. In the lava lake, there was a red lava stone monster's head. That's right, it was a head. But this head was too big and it was already over 100 meters in height. Such horrific divine power waves. The divine power index is at least over 1 million. Li Fuchen was shocked. If the divine power index was slightly higher, it would be boundlessly high. If it was several times higher, it would be impossible for Li Fuchen to fight. The two of them had similar qualities in all aspects. One had a divine power index of 1 million and the other had a divine power index of 200,000. A single divine power shock from the former would be able to kill the latter a few hundred times without any suspense. Furthermore, this red lava stone monster didn't just have a high divine power index. Its divine power intensity was far beyond a high deity and was far superior to that 60-meter-tall lava stone monster. It is a lava overlord. Li Fuchen immediately confirmed the identity of the red lava stone monster. Lava Overlord was a true god-class lava stone monster. Its strength was far superior to other true gods of the same realm. It was the undisputed king of the Lava Grand Canyon. According to the records, the Lava Grand Canyon had 7 largest lava lakes and each of them had a lava overlord in hibernation. If the lava overlords didn't have special characteristics that made them always hibernate, the Lava Grand Canyon wouldn't just be a 2-star high-tier danger zone. It would at least be a 3-star low-tier danger zone. After knowing that the opponent was a lava overlord, Li Fuchen didn't dare to stay any longer and increased his speed to the limits. He decided that if he had the chance, he must redeem a perfect class or extreme class mid-tier spacetime divine artifact. During crucial moments, it would be used to escape. Li Fuchen was very lucky. The lava overlord's reaction would be rather slow and its movements would be rather sluggish. Otherwise, Li Fuchen wouldn't be able to dodge that palm earlier. Seeing that Li Fuchen was fleeing, the lava overlord pondered for a moment and waved its hand. An endless meteor rain descended from the sky and smashed at Li Fuchen. The meteor shower was too densely packed. The flaming rocks were of different sizes. The bigger ones were as big as a hill, while the smaller ones were only the size of a fist. Regardless of whether it was the size of a hill or the size of a fist, the flames contained on them were extremely terrifying. They could easily smash a pinnacle high god to death. Furthermore, the blazing power could affect time and space. Even if Li Fuchen used the power of time and space to flash, he would still suffer from the pressure of the blazing power and his time and space divine power would be drained like water. No good, time and space is locked. The radius of the meteor rain was too large and the radius of a few thousand miles was locked by an invisible blazing power. Li Fuchen's spacetime divine skill was restricted and he wasn't able to use his full strength. Furthermore, even if he could use his full strength, it was unknown if he could escape. The true god-class lava stone monster was too powerful. A simple move would have the strength to destroy a large number of high deities. It wasn't something that could be resisted by those below the true god class. It is a pity that the divine spirit attack is useless against the lava stone monster. If it was useful, Li Fuchen felt that he might have a chance. Blaze. A flaming rock that was the size of a small mountain locked onto Li Fuchen's chi presence and smashed over. Blood Lion's protection. Li Fuchen poured his divine power into the Blood Lion armor. After being converted by the Blood Lion armor's tool pattern, all the divine power was converted into Blood Lion divine power. He then activated the Blood Lion armor's divine artifact divine skill, Blood Lion's protection. In an instant, a blood-colored lion scuttled out from Li Fuchen's body and protected him. Bang bang. The blood-colored lion didn't even last for half a breath of time before it was smashed into nothingness by the flaming rock. However, it had also bought some time for Li Fuchen. Li Fuchen immediately entered a cave at the front. This cave was able to isolate divine power and it was very mystical. Chapter 1127. After entering the cave, Li Fuchen could obviously feel that the lava overlord's divine power was isolated on the outside. The blazing flame power emitted by the meteor flame rain had also vanished. Why do I feel that there is an even more powerful fire Dao power in this cave? Li Fuchen's divine spirit was extremely powerful and could vaguely feel the terrifying fire Dao power hidden in the cave. It was fortunate that it was only fire Dao power and not fire Dao divine power. Divine power was a power that was cultivated. If this cave had fire Dao divine power, it meant that there was an expert inside. Perhaps it is an incredible fire Dao artifact. Li Fuchen's eyes lit up as he started to enter the cave. Using his divine spirit senses, Li Fuchen was getting closer to the fire Dao power. This is the place. There is actually a stone room here. Outside the stone room, Li Fuchen was certain that the astounding fire Dao power was coming from the stone room. After entering the stone room, Li Fuchen finally knew the source of the fire Dao power. The fire Dao power came from the lines on the walls of the stone room. These lines were thick and thin, deep and shallow, straight and curved, tyrannical and gentle, explosive and sinister. No matter how the lines changed, they had a common characteristic and that was the characteristics of the fire Dao. Such a brilliant fire Dao level. Just a few lines are able to gather fire Dao power that surpasses the lava overlord. What kind of strength does the person who left behind these lines have? Li Fuchen exclaimed. The lava overlord was a low-level true god. If a high-level true god left behind some lines, it was impossible to gather power that surpassed a low-level true god. It would at least be a spirit god. It also meant to say that the person who left behind these lines was at least a fire Dao spirit god. As for if it was a low-level fire Dao spirit god, mid-level, or even a high-level fire Dao spirit god, it was unknown. My fire Dao realm is at the late level of high-level god. I might be able to use these fire Dao lines to increase my fire Dao realm to the peak level of high-level god or even the extremity. During normal times, Li Fuchen didn't place much importance on the fire Dao, but if there was a fated encounter, Li Fuchen wouldn't mind increasing his fire Dao realm. A fire path trace left behind by a fire path spiritual god was something incredible. It could be considered a fire path inheritance of a true god force. When Li Fuchen was comprehending the fire Dao seriously, the improvement speed was extremely terrifying. In the past, he was limited by his own understanding of the fire Dao. His improvement speed might be fast, but it wasn't too ridiculous. Right now, these fire Dao traces left behind by the fire Dao spirit god didn't just allow his fire Dao foundation to increase rapidly, it also allowed his soul seed to produce fire Dao inspirations. A peak stage high god. In just a few days, Li Fuchen's fire Dao cultivation had broken through from late stage high deity to peak stage high deity. This is too mysterious. Even the fire Dao can be so mysterious. These traces of the fire Dao had undoubtedly opened a door for Li Fuchen and allowed him to see a wider world. Without these fire Dao traces, Li Fuchen believed that he would need to spend 100 or 1,000 times more time to increase his fire Dao to the peak stage of high god. Let me digest it first. On the four walls of the stone room, there were lines on each side. The first line on the left side contained a slightly shallower fire Dao law. Li Fuchen had already finished reading and comprehended 30% to 40%. The second line on the left side contained much more profound fire Dao law and it was extremely strenuous for Li Fuchen to comprehend it. He decided to comprehend the first side's fire Dao law first before comprehending the second side's fire Dao law. This comprehension lasted for an entire month. Peak of the High God Realm. After opening his eyes, Li Fuchen revealed an excited expression. He might be primarily cultivating the Sword Dao, with the Space-Time Dao and Destruction Dao as support, while the Fire Dao was just a foil. However, he was still very happy that his Fire Dao had progressed so quickly. Right now, there were still 3 more stone walls that he had yet to comprehend. Perhaps when he left, his Fire Dao might break through to the true God realm. I shall continue to comprehend the second wall's lines. Perhaps it was due to the increase in his Fire Dao level, Li Fuchen had a much easier time comprehending the second wall's lines. 1 month passed by, 2 months passed by, 3 months passed by. Cultivation was timeless, especially for a high god. A few months was no different from a regular person's 15 minutes. Pop. On this day, above Li Fuchen's head, there was an illusory flaming flower that bloomed. The surging Fire Dao law power spread out and it was extremely mystical. Half-step True God Realm. As the second wall's Fire Dao lines were more or less comprehended, Li Fuchen's Fire Dao level rose along with the flow and had reached the half-step True God Realm. It was on the same level as the Sword Dao level. This was something unimaginable in the past. In terms of Sword Dao, Li Fuchen's accumulation was extremely robust. In normal situations, the Fire Dao would never be able to catch up to the Sword Dao. Right now, everything was the truth. Third wall. After digesting the comprehension from the second wall's lines, Li Fuchen continued to look at the third wall. It is so strenuous. On the third wall, Li Fuchen realized that he was already unable to comprehend the Fire Dao lines. These lines had a lot of contradictions and couldn't be explained. Li Fuchen knew that his cultivation level wasn't high enough. In order to comprehend the third wall's lines, his Fire Dao level had to be at the True God realm. Fated opportunities are hard to come by. continue to accumulate. Li Fuqian didn't look at the third wall's lines anymore and continued to comprehend the first and second wall's lines. He was only about to comprehend the first and second wall's lines. The further he progressed, the harder it would be to comprehend. In the blink of the eye, another few months had passed. During these few months, apart from comprehending the Fire Tao lines, Li Fuqian was also improving his Fire Tao divine skills. Right now, he was proficient in 10 Fire Tao divine skills. 3 of them were mid-class high-level divine skills and had been upgraded to perfect-class high-level divine skills. 7 of them had been upgraded from normal-class high-level divine skills to excellent-class high-level divine skills. All of them had been upgraded by 2 levels. This was only for a short period of time. If he had more time, Li Fuqian was confident he could upgrade them by another level. The reason why he was confident was because Li Fuqian's Fire Tao level had already surpassed the Sword Tao level. After all, there was still a difference between the half-step True God realm. Right now, Li Fuqian's Fire Tao level was only 1 step away from the low-level True God realm. In order to break through, I still have to look at the third wall's lines. The difference between the half-step True God realm and the low-level True God realm was too great. Once Li Fuqian broke through, it would be like ascending to the heavens in a single step. It was impossible for Li Fuqian to miss this opportunity. This time, Li Fuqian didn't look at the entire wall and stared at one of the lines. His Fire Tao level was only 1 step away from the low-level True God realm. With just a little inspiration, he might be able to break through. The third wall's lines were very strange and special. Just a moment ago, it was very explosive, but in the next moment, it became weak and slack. It was simply ever-changing and it was hard to adapt. There must be a pattern. I must not be confused by the appearance. Li Fuqian didn't blink his eyes and his divine spirit was revolving at high speed. Finally, Li Fuqian saw a trace of a sign. Interesting. They have already made contact with the Fire Tao law source. No wonder true gods are called true gods. They are starting to make contact with the law source. Boundless Fire Tao law comprehension poured into the soul sea. Li Fuqian's Fire Tao level seemed to have broken through a layer of barrier and reached the low-level True God realm. After reaching the low-level True God realm, Li Fuqian could obviously feel that he had a trace of control over the heaven and earth Fire Tao law. This control might be very weak, but control was control and it was different from bestowal. In other words, even if Li Fuqian didn't execute Fire Tao divine skills, as long as he used Fire Tao divine power, the Fire Tao law would descend and increase his lethality. This is too wonderful. The pleasure from controlling a trace of Fire Tao law had made Li Fuqian's emotions fluctuate. It seems like controlling the power of law is the pathway for gods to progress. The life level is also driven by the control of the power of law. By controlling more Fire Tao law power, it would allow one's Fire Tao divine body to get stronger. When it reached a limit, it would evolve and break through from a true god to a spirit god. From a spirit god to an existence that surpassed a spirit god. God monarchs were said to stand at the pinnacle of the God Void realm. They might have already controlled a complete law. However, there were strong and weak laws, like the space-time law, Sword Tao law, Saber Tao law, Yin-Yang law, Limitless law, and 5 Elements law. These were all pinnacle laws. The weaker ones were Time law, Spatial law, Extreme Yin law, and Extreme Yang law. Even weaker ones were the Fire Tao law, Earth Tao law, Metal Tao law, and other laws. According to the control of different laws, the strength of a god monarch should be different too. Of course, pinnacle laws had their own benefits, while regular laws had their own benefits too. Pinnacle laws were too difficult to comprehend. Li Fuqian's Sword Tao accumulation was extremely robust and with his extremely powerful divine spirit, he was only at the half-step True God realm. If his main cultivation was the Fire Tao, he would have already reached the True God realm and it wouldn't be so difficult. In short, pinnacle laws were hard to comprehend, but they had a bright future. Once one stood at the pinnacle, they would be at the pinnacle. Regular laws were easy to comprehend, but the future wouldn't be comparable to pinnacle laws. Furthermore, it was impossible to stand at the pinnacle in one's entire life. Now that Li Fuchen's Fire Dao rank was at the low-level True God realm, it was much easier for him to comprehend the third line. Low-level True God realm. Mid-level True God realm. When the third line was more or less comprehended, Li Fuchen's Fire Dao rank had reached the mid-level Low True God realm. Immediately after, Li Fuchen started to comprehend the fourth line. This Fire Dao Spirit God's rank is too high. These lines must have been left behind by him casually. Li Fuchen could see that the fourth line was very messy, but it was fortunate that the Fire Dao law was still more profound than the third line. Late level Low True God. Peak level Low True God. Finally, Li Fuchen's Fire Dao rank had reached the peak level Low True God realm. If he took another step, he would be at the mid-level True God realm. However, Li Fuchen knew that he wouldn't be able to reach the mid-level True God realm within a short period of time. Previously, his progress was too fast and his foundation wasn't stable. If he wanted to break through with an unstable foundation, it would be a dream. It is about time. Li Fuchen swept a glance at the Fire Dao lines on the walls and was in a very strange mood. Just a few lines were actually able to allow his Fire Dao rank to reach the peak level Low True God realm in a single step. Fate was truly mystical and unpredictable. If I have the chance, I will come again. In fact, be it the first line or the other three lines, Li Fuchen hadn't completely comprehended them. The Fire Dao marks left behind by the Spirit God weren't something that he could comprehend with his current cultivation level. Perhaps after he had a firm foundation in the Fire Dao, he would have the chance to comprehend more things the next time he came. Before I go out, I should increase my Fire Dao strength first. Li Fuchen wouldn't forget that there was still the lava overlord outside. His Fire Dao might be at the peak level Low True God realm, but his Fire Dao strength was far from the level of a Low True God. If the lava overlord was still guarding there, Li Fuchen had no choice but to risk it. Chapter 1128. With such a high level of Fire Dao, Li Fuchen's Fire Dao Divine Power was increasing like a rocket. Divine Power Index, 150,000, 180,000, 200,000, 250,000. Soon enough, with the assistance of a large number of low-grade God stones, Li Fuchen's Fire Dao Divine Power quickly broke through the limits of High God and wasn't inferior to the 50-meter-tall lava rock monster. This wasn't the end yet. 300,000, 350,000, 400,000, the Divine Power Index soared to 550,000 before stopping. At the same time, Li Fuchen's Divine Spirit and Fire Dao Divine Powers fusion had increased from 50% to 55%. The Divine Power's strength had been greatly increased and wasn't inferior to weaker low-level True Gods. If it wasn't for the insufficient accumulation of Life Realm, Li Fuchen could break through to become a true low-level True God. Law Realm was the Law Realm, while Life Realm was the Life Realm. The Life Realm was the God class. If Li Fuchen relied on the Fire Dao to become a low-level True God, his low-level True God Life Realm would also increase his Sword Dao, Time and Space Dao, and Destruction Dao. Law Realm and Life Realm complemented each other. If one of them improved, the other would also improve rapidly. However, a god could have multiple law realms. It mainly depended on how many laws the god cultivated. A god could only have one life realm. It was impossible to say that a god could be a low-level True God and a high-level True God. It didn't matter which law the god relied on to break through to the life realm. A low-level True God was a low-level True God and a high-level True God was a high-level True God. After all, a god only had one life and didn't have many lives. To those with ordinary perception, the law realm was much harder to break through than the life realm. Once their law realm broke through, their life realm would immediately increase. This was mainly because they had accumulated enough life realm. Li Fuchen was different. Li Fuchen's perception was too strong and his law realm progressed rapidly. He didn't have enough time to accumulate life realm. After all, he had only been in the bright world divine realm for a few years, yet he had already broken through from a demigod to a high god. Life realm, life realm. I heard that the types of divine pills in the middle 1,000 divine worlds are millions of times more than in the bright world divine worlds. There's a 3-star divine pill, the true God pill, that can allow a peak higher god to break through to the lower true God realm. There's also the 5-star divine pill, the spiritual pill, that can allow a peak upper true God realm to break through to the lower spiritual God realm. However, this kind of divine pill that can increase one's life realm is 100 or even 1,000 times more valuable than divine pills of the same star rank. The divine power index stopped increasing, but Li Fuchen didn't leave immediately. He was planning to upgrade all of his Fire Dao divine skills to the extreme class of high-tier divine skills. The Lava Lord was too dangerous. He had to be fully prepared. Outside the cave, the 1,000-meter-tall lava overlord paced back and forth, its 2 purple sun-like eyeballs staring at the cave from time to time. The lava overlord might not have a divine spirit, but it didn't mean it didn't have any thoughts. The divine power wasn't able to scout the cave and it made the lava overlord rather apprehensive. Furthermore, this cave gave the lava overlord a very uncomfortable feeling, as though a powerful existence had been here before. After a long period of time, when the lava overlord was starting to lose its patience, a fiery red figure rushed out from the cave. He is actually still guarding here. He is indeed a stubborn person. After seeing the lava overlord, Li Fuchen was shocked and immediately let out a bitter smile. He really wasn't willing to fight with a low-level true god, especially an expert among the low-level true gods. Raging Flame Field. The instant Li Fuchen rushed out of the cave, he executed the Fire Dao Field divine skill, Raging Flame Field. Right now, Li Fuchen had already upgraded all of his Fire Dao divine skills to extreme class high-tier divine skills. When complemented with his 550,000 divine power index, the Raging Flame Field was enough to affect regular low-level true gods. However, the Lava Overlord wasn't a regular low-level true god. Its divine power index was at least 1 million and it was twice of Li Fuchen's. Therefore, after the divine power vibrated, Li Fuchen's Raging Flame Field was torn apart and didn't pose any threat. Raging Flame Shift. Li Fuchen naturally didn't plan to fight with the Lava Overlord. No matter how arrogant he was, he didn't think he could fight with the Lava Overlord. Li Fuchen's body turned into a flaming light as he fled with astounding speed. This speed was much faster than when he executed the spatial divine skill, Wings of Time. Hee. The Lava Overlord grinned sinisterly and slammed a palm at Li Fuchen. Such speed. Li Fuchen's divine spirit was constantly monitoring the Lava Overlord. When the Lava Overlord slammed its palm, its arm and palm had turned into red lava. Its length expanded from a few hundred meters to a few thousand or a few tens of thousands of meters. Its speed was also astounding and it was at least faster than Li Fuchen's Raging Flame Shift. Raging Flame Cover. Flame God Body. In an instant, Li Fuchen executed 2 Fire Dao divine skills. They were the Fire Dao defensive divine skill, Raging Flame Cover, and the Fire Dao divine body divine skill, Flame God Body. Bang! The Raging Flame Cover exploded and Li Fuchen was sent flying. Half of his body was shattered and those shattered parts were immediately burned into ashes. If it wasn't for the Blood Lion armor, Li Fuchen might have died from this slap. But Li Fuchen's heart ached because the Blood Lion armor was destroyed. A high-grade defensive divine artifact was even more valuable than a high-grade offensive divine artifact. Regular low-level true gods would have a hard time destroying it. Only a powerful low-level true god like the Lava Overlord would be able to destroy the Blood Lion armor with a single slap. After recovering his body, Li Fuchen continued to flee. The lava overlord didn't have high intelligence after all. This slap might have sent Li Fuchen flying, but it had also increased the distance between them by more than 10 times. It was simply a godly assist. Such a distance had already exceeded the lava overlord's optimal close combat distance. Executing its innate divine skill, a large number of flaming rocks descended from the sky and smashed at Li Fuchen. There is a chance. Li Fuchen consumed the divine essence elixir while fleeing frantically. At the same time, he was secretly utilizing the spatial and time power. Success. In just a short moment, a translucent door appeared in front of Li Fuchen and he rushed in. Rumble. The spatial and time door was smashed into smithereens by the flaming rocks. The horrific fire Dao law's power affected the spatial and time and forcefully jolted Li Fuchen out. My spatial and time Dao proficiency is too low. Li Fuchen's heart sank. His spatial and time Dao proficiency was still too low and was only at the late stage of High God. If he was at the limits of High God, he wouldn't have been jolted out so easily earlier. If he was at the peak level of low-level True God like his Fire Dao proficiency, the Lava Overlord wouldn't be able to touch him. As the pursuit continued, they soon arrived at a blazing valley. This blazing valley was filled with raging flames and intense heat waves. Li Fuchen scanned with his divine spirit power and noticed a flaming lizard that was over 1,000 meters in length. Low-level True God beast, raging flame lizard. Li Fuchen's eyes lit up and he immediately executed his divine spirit ability to conceal his chi presence perfectly before rushing into the blazing valley. Roar! The raging flame lizard didn't notice Li Fuchen as its attention was attracted by the lava overlord. The blazing valley was its territory and the lava overlord actually dared to barge in. Without any hesitation, the raging flame lizard and the lava overlord started to fight. The lava overlord didn't have high intelligence and didn't have any intention to explain as it fought with the raging flame lizard. Later on, the lava overlord had forgotten about Li Fuchen's existence. The lava valley actually has a low-level True God beast, raging flame lizard. From afar, Li Fuchen let out a breath of relief. If it wasn't for the raging flame lizard, he wouldn't be able to escape the pursuit of the lava overlord even if he exhausted all his divine power. The lava overlord was too powerful and if Li Fuchen wasn't stupid, he would have been killed long ago. The blazing flames in the blazing valley made it very difficult to scout with divine power. Only Li Fuchen's divine spirit power wasn't restricted. Using his divine spirit power to secretly observe, Li Fuchen realized that the raging flame monitor lizard's strength was still inferior to the lava overlord. At the start, they were evenly matched, but it was gradually falling into a disadvantageous position. The scales on its body were cracked and blood was flowing. It is better to leave first. Li Fuchen left the blazing valley silently and gradually distanced himself from this region. Li Fuchen took over a month to travel from the East Sun sect to the lava valley. When he returned, he took less than half a month. The extreme class high-state Fire Dao divine skill, Raging Flame Shift, was much faster than the Wings of Time. After returning to the East Sun sect and submitting the mission, Li Fuchen obtained 3 million contribution points and 500 contribution points. Right now, he had over 4 million contribution points. This amount of contribution points wasn't enough to redeem a space-time divine artifact that he wanted. It was fortunate that all of his Fire Dao divine skills had been upgraded. If he contributed them to the sect, he would be able to obtain a large amount of contribution points. Contribution Hall. After contributing 5 Fire Dao divine skills, Li Fuchen's contribution points had reached an astounding 400 million. According to the contribution points of high-state divine skills, a normal class high-state divine skill would be worth 100,000 contribution points. A mid-class high-state divine skill would be worth 500,000 contribution points. An excellent class would be worth 3 million contribution points, a flawless class would be 15 million contribution points, and an extreme class would be 80 million contribution points. The further one went, the more exaggerated it would be. Of course, there were only a few individuals that could create extreme-class high-state divine skills. Even if they could create one, it would take many years. Not everyone was like Li Fuqian who could create so many extreme-class high-state divine skills at once. Even an elite core disciple like Guangwu Wu had only created one or two extreme-class high-state divine skills so far. Li Fuqian was afraid of being too conspicuous and didn't wish to expose all of his trump cards at once. Therefore, he chose 5 of the more ordinary extreme-class high-state Fire Dao divine skills to contribute to the sect, like the Raging Fire Fist, Raging Fire Barrier, and Blaze God Claw. Li Fuqian didn't plan to contribute Domain Divine Skills, Divine Body Divine Skills, and Shifting Technique Divine Skills like the Raging Flame Field, Raging Flame Barrier, and Blaze God Claw for now. Anyway, 400 million contribution points was already enough and he would think about it when it wasn't enough. 400 million contribution points. No sect mission is comparable to contributing divine skills. Li Fuqian knew that contributing divine skills was able to obtain so many contribution points. Firstly, it was because of mutual exchange. It was to give those who didn't have enough innate perception a way and opportunity to learn high-grade divine skills. It was also to give those with high innate perception a reference. Secondly, it was to encourage everyone to create divine skills and stimulate them to do so. The more divine skills you created and the stronger they were, the more contribution points you would obtain. With such stimulation, your strength would increase very quickly and it was a good thing for both the individual and the sect. If a sect wanted to grow stronger, didn't it need to rely on powerful individuals? Let me redeem some divine equipment first. After walking out of the contribution hall, Li Fuqian flew towards the divine equipment hall on another mountain peak. Chapter 1129. The Divine Weapon Hall was separated into many sections. There was the Fire Dao Divine Weapon Area, Water Dao Divine Weapon Area, Sword Dao Divine Weapon Area, Saber Dao Divine Weapon Area. Of course, there was also the Multi-Attribute Divine Weapon Area and the Special Divine Weapon Area. Li Fuqian's Fire Dao strength was the strongest, therefore, he was the first to arrive at the Fire Dao Divine Weapon Area. The Fire Dao Divine Weapon Area was further separated into the Offensive and Defensive Fire Dao Divine Weapon Areas. Blue Flame Gloves, Extreme Class Mid-Tier Fire Dao Offensive Divine Weapon. Price, 10 million contribution points. Requires 3-star contribution points. Dragon Pattern Flame Armor, Extreme Class Mid-Tier Fire Dao Defensive Divine Weapon. Price, 15 million contribution points. Requires 3-star contribution points. Raging Flame Cloak, Extreme Class Mid-Tier Fire Dao Divine Weapon. Price, 12 million contribution points. Requires 3-star contribution points. In a single breath, Li Fuqian redeemed 3 Extreme Class Mid-Tier Fire Dao Divine Weapons and spent a total of 37 million contribution points. Next, Li Fuqian arrived at the Sword Dao Divine Weapon Area and chose an Extreme Class Mid-Tier Sword Dao Divine Weapon, the Young Emperor Sword, which cost him 13 million contribution points. Finally, it was the Spacetime Divine Weapon Area. Spacetime Divine Weapons were rare divine weapons and the higher the grade, the rarer they were. Li Fuqian took a look and saw that the number of low-tier divine weapons in the Spacetime Divine Weapon Area was similar to the number of mid-tier divine weapons in other areas. There weren't many mid-tier divine weapons and each of them was extremely expensive. They were several times or even 10 times more expensive than other divine weapons of the same grade. Zoom Shadow Boots, Excellent Class Mid-Tier Spacetime Divine Weapon. Price, 8 million contribution points. Requires 3-star contribution points. After seeing the price of an excellent class mid-tier spacetime divine weapon, Li Fuqian couldn't help but frown. It was too expensive. It was just an excellent class mid-tier spacetime divine weapon, but its price was actually close to an extreme class mid-tier divine weapon. But after thinking about it, Li Fuqian felt relieved. There were too few people who cultivated the space-time Tao in the divine world, and there were even fewer blacksmiths who could refine space-time divine weapons. The rarer an item was, the more expensive it was. It was natural that the prices of space-time divine weapons were extremely high. In addition, the materials to refine space-time divine weapons were very rare in the divine world. They weren't as common as the materials for divine weapons of other attributes. There were too few people who cultivated and refined space-time divine weapons. There were too few materials, therefore, it wasn't reasonable for space-time divine weapons to be cheap. There weren't many space-time divine weapons for Li Fuchen to choose from. There were only a total of 8 extreme-class mid-tier space-time divine weapons. Space Plunder Ring, Ultimate Mid-Rank Space-Time Artifact, worth 80 million contribution points. Requires 3 stars contribution level. Void Necklace, Ultimate Intermediate Space-Time Artifact, worth 150 million contribution points, required to be a 3-star contribution level. Without any hesitation, Li Fuchen took the 2 extreme-class mid-tier space-time artifacts. With the addition of the Fire Dao Divine Artifact and Sword Dao Divine Artifact, Li Fuchen had spent a total of 280 million contribution points and was left with over 124 million contribution points. It could be said that contribution points came and went quickly. Of course, Li Fuchen didn't feel heartache at all. Contribution points were not like low-grade god stones, where the more you accumulated, the better. Instead, you had to use them to increase your strength. If you didn't use them, contribution points were just a bunch of numbers. They were meaningless. After leaving the Divine Weapon Hall, Li Fuchen arrived at the Divine Skill Hall. Last time, he did not have contribution points to exchange for a high-level superior space-time divine skill. This time, he had it. Superior Spacetime Divine Skills, normal grade was around 1 million contribution points, mid-grade was around 5 million contribution points, excellent grade was around 30 million contribution points, flawless grade was around 200 million contribution points. As for extreme class Superior Spacetime Divine Skills, there wasn't a single one. Li Fuchen didn't know that at the current stage, among the East Sun Sect's core disciples, there were only a few that could create normal-class high-level spacetime divine skills. Those that were above normal class were all created by core disciples or even true god elders. As for extreme-class superior spacetime divine skills, not even true god elders could create them. In the history of the East Sun Sect, no one had reached an extremely high level in the spatial Tao. I shall choose 2 excellent class superior spacetime divine skills first. Li Fuchen's Wings of Time was an excellent class superior spacetime divine skill. He wanted to see the difference between others' excellent class superior spacetime divine skills and his own. He wanted to see whose proficiency was higher. 2 superior spacetime divine skills cost Li Fuchen another 80 million contribution points. Li Fuchen was left with over 44 million contribution points. Fuchen Peak, Li Fuchen refined all the redeemed divine weapons. The blue flame gloves, as the name suggested, were gloves that enhanced fire Dao attack. The dragon pattern flame armor could provide defense and also enhance fire Dao divine power. The raging flame cloak could increase speed. The young emperor sword could enhance sword Dao attack. The Space Plunder Ring could enhance time and space and could also silently retrieve items from a distance. The Void Necklace could turn the body void and merge with time and space. These 6 extreme-class mid-tier divine weapons were extremely useful to Li Fuchen and allowed Li Fuchen's strength to increase by a lot. Next, Li Fuchen started to comprehend the superior spacetime divine skills. These 2 excellent class superior spacetime divine skills were called Flying Phantom and Time and Space Wheel. The Flying Phantom was similar to the Wings of Time and was a speed-type superior spacetime divine skill. The Time and Space Wheel was a multi-purpose superior spacetime divine skill. It could be used for offense and defense. It could also affect the surrounding spacetime and produce a spacetime force field. On Fuchen Peak, there was a gentle breeze. Li Fuchen leaped up and silently turned into 3 phantoms. These 3 phantoms flew in different directions, and in just a flash, they vanished without a trace. After a moment, Li Fuchen's figure reappeared at the same spot. Flying Phantom, first rank, completed. It is even more mystical than my wings of time. Li Fuchen praised. The Flying Phantom was too mystical. Li Fuchen's wings of time might be a superior spacetime divine skill, but it contained more spatial law and less time law, making it rather unbalanced. But the Flying Phantom was different, it contained almost the same amount of spatial law and time law. As a result, Li Fuchen's wings of time might be very fast, and a single flash would allow him to teleport a very far distance, but it was very easy to break in front of a true expert. In comparison, the Flying Phantom was much harder to break. Those 3 phantoms earlier were actually Li Fuchen's true body and at the same time, Li Fuchen's clones. They were the result of different timelines. In other words, unless Li Fuchen could intercept all 3 phantoms at once, it was impossible to stop him. This was only the first rank of the Flying Phantom. The Flying Phantom had a total of 3 ranks. The first realm was 3 phantoms, the second realm was 9 phantoms, and the third realm, which was also the highest realm, was 1 phantom. However, this phantom was extremely mysterious, and if one's attack power wasn't strong enough, it would be impossible to hit it. Of course, those who learned the Flying Phantom would never be able to cultivate it to the highest rank. Only the creator of the Flying Phantom would be able to cultivate it to the highest rank. It had nothing to do with perception. As the days passed, Li Fuchen's comprehension of the Flying Phantom was getting deeper. He admired the creator of the Flying Phantom, as the creator's spatial Tao proficiency was obviously superior to him. Li Fuchen didn't know that the person who created the Flying Mirage was a true God Elder from the East Sun sect. This true God Elder might not specialize in the spatial and time Tao, but a true God was still a true God. How could the spatial and time divine skill that he created be simple? While comprehending the spatial Tao divine skill, Li Fuchen didn't forget to study the sword Tao divine skill. Right now, his sword Tao strength might not be comparable to his fire Tao strength, but in terms of innate talent, the fire Tao talent was far inferior to the sword Tao talent. There was a saying that sand could form a tower, and water could form an abyss. The accumulation of martial Tao was actually during normal times. One day, when his sword Tao accumulation reached an extremely robust level, it would definitely be able to burst forth. 3 months later, the 4 moves of the primary extreme sword art have all reached the perfect class superior divine skill level. My sword Tao proficiency has also improved and isn't too far away from the low-level true God realm. Furthermore, the second rank of the Flying Phantom is finally completed. In 3 months, Li Fuchen had successfully cultivated the second rank of the Flying Phantom and was able to produce 9 phantoms in an instant. Apart from being slower than the Wings of Time, all other aspects were superior to the Wings of Time. Right now, Li Fuchen had already started to cultivate the other excellent class spatial Tao divine skill, the time-space wheel. As compared to the Flying Phantom, the difficulty of the time-space wheel was on the next level. At the same time, the mysticism of the time-space wheel was also on the next level. Once the time-space wheel revolved, the spatial time in the area would instantly freeze. The higher the intensity, the longer the freezing time would be. Of course, in the eyes of the outside world, it would only be a blink of the eye. But to the people that were trapped in this spatial time, it was enough to drive them insane. The opening of the Spirit God Cemetery was getting closer, and all the core disciples from the East Sun sect had rushed back. The Spirit God Cemetery was a land of fated opportunities that even true gods coveted. If it wasn't for the fact that they couldn't enter, how could the core disciples who were only at the high-level deity realm be able to enter? East Sun sect, Nya clan, Nya Kue, the clan spent a huge price to upgrade your bloodline divine skill, Nirvana Light Ray, from perfect class to extremity. This time, you must bring sufficient benefits to the clan in the Spirit God Cemetery. The one speaking was Nya Kue's father, Nya Shan, who was a low-level true god. Father, don't worry. You should know the power of my Nya clan's Nirvana light ray. Furthermore, my divine power fusion is already at 49% and isn't inferior to anyone. Nye Kue was very confident. Nye Shan nodded in response. Nye Kue's perception might not be considered top-notch, but with the clan's full nurturing, his strength was at least top 3 among the core disciples. He wouldn't come back empty-handed after entering the Spirit God Cemetery. When thinking about the Spirit God's spirit essence in the Spirit God Cemetery, Nye Shan's eyes were filled with desire. If he could obtain a Spirit God's spirit essence, he would be able to save at least a few thousand years of bitter cultivation. If he could obtain enough Spirit God's spirit essence, it wouldn't be difficult for him to step into the mid-level true God realm. Li Fuchen, I hope you don't encounter me in the Spirit God Cemetery. When Nye Shan was thinking, Nye Kue was also thinking. But when he recalled that he had lost 2 high-grade divine artifacts, Nye Kue was enraged. 2 high-grade divine artifacts. He didn't even have them and had to borrow them from the clan. It was fortunate that the clan would lend him a few more high-grade divine artifacts after entering the Spirit God Cemetery. If he performed well, he wouldn't have to return the high-grade divine artifacts. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.